What?
Maybe we have a sound now. Maybe we don't. I don't know.
Hey, let's try this one more time.
Someone will tell us.
Welcome to the Retro Ranger wrap-up, everyone. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Jinx! Know me code.
Is there Sprint coverage in space?
Yes. If Power Rangers is sponsored by Sprint, then yes.
Yeah.
But today is a Retro Ranger wrap-up. We are going to... No.
It went away.
Do we have sound?
Oh, yeah.
We have sound.
I heard an echo.
All right, so this is the Retro Ranger wrap-up, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be talking about Power Rangers in Space, which is already potentially one of my favorite seasons.
It is my favorite season. There's no question about it. Oh, my God. How is it not like anyone's favorite season right now?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. If you guys aren't watching this season with us, if you haven't watched it before, now is the time to watch it. It's so good. We got Josh involved.
You know what's weird to me, though?
What?
Christopher Cameron Lee.
I like
Well,
this.
I mean,
Why
that's
is it weird?
just a given.
Because I know him now, and I didn't watch this show when it was on.
Yeah.
So knowing him personally
Yeah.
has sort of jaded isn't the right word, but it skewed my.
I feel like it's enhanced. Like I keep
Yeah,
waiting for Andros to kiss or lick the
start
other
licking
Rangers
someone's
and stuff.
face. Yeah.
Yeah, which is super fun. And I don't know. I like him. But we want to do... Should we do the announcement now? Or should we, tease people for a little bit later in the show?
Oh, well, we got some big news according to who is going to be on the next episode.
Yes, our
of
next
the Ranger
episode of...
Is it this one or...
Oh, Q&A.
Oh,
We got a Q&A coming up.
Live here at the Comic Bug.
Oh.
Live at the Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach, California.
That's right.
Next Sunday...
9:02 something.
So actually it's going to be next Sunday, which will be March 1st. We are going to have the voice actor for Elgar come here and do a Q&A session, which is going to be super fun. Do we know if it's going to start at the same time as our normal Ranger show? It's going to be after. So tune in here for the Retro Ranger wrap-up at 6 p.m. And we are going to have a Q&A session with Derek Stephen Prince, who voices Elgar from last season and also this season from space. We are super excited to have him on. And if you have any questions, feel free to add us in the chat.
Yeah, add us in the chat, ask some questions, see if we can go ahead and make sure that they pop up, and he'll be able to answer them.
Elgar is a reference to something.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, look it up. We are going to be talking about
Never
Stop Searching and also Satellite Searching. We have a lot of searching going on today in the 2 episodes that we will be talking about. Josh,
yes.
How do you feel about? Have you seen any of the episodes, or are you just jumping right in with these?
No. So I, when I woke up this morning, I started watching from episode 1 of In Space, which I feel like I missed something because I didn't watch last season. So it felt like this was a
basically
continuation
the Rangers,
of what was going on.
Divatox blew a bunch of shit up. They had to go on a spaceship, and now they're in space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had essentially, she ran off. Well, not ran off. She blew up everything. She was happy as hell. And then she got a message, like a voicemail. And it was like, hey, need you to come over here and hang out with all the other bad guys.
Deep Talks was the one at the party in the first episode who looked like she could fit her fist and 3 other people's fists in her mouth at the same time.
Jeez,
like a Steven Tyler mouth.
Jeez,
I didn't think about that, but potentially I was thinking more about the titties. But yeah, I guess mouth too.
Yes, to both of your comments.
Just like the way she was talking, it was like everything was super huge.
Everything was exaggerated.
Yeah.
Is the best way for it. Yes. So she did that and
Can
flies
confirm
off.
We have watched.
So she did that. She flew off, and they were like, "We're gonna follow after her." So they did, and they ran into Andros, or Andros ran into them.
Yeah, well, he was infiltrating the party, and this whole thing with man, I want to say his name is Silk Specter, but it's not. I think it's Dark Specter. It's Dark Specter.
I like it.
From Watchmen. Yeah, but we have Dark Specter that comes. He's kind of like, I feel like the big bad of this one.
Yes.
That's kind of organizing everything.
Yes.
Andros infiltrated that kind of party and met the Rangers. Basically, gave Rangers their new space powers. And
that's right.
Here we are. Last week we talked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and now we
we
are
had
into a
the
lot
crossover.
of searching.
You missed it if you didn't see it.
It was pretty good. I mean, it was fun.
I watched that this morning too. It was. I felt like it was too short.
It was, right?
It should have been a 2-parter. For sure.
At least a 2-parter, if not a 3-parter. I was disappointed that we didn't get a TMNT Zord of some kind. like a Donatello upgrade to something.
I'm kind of actually interested in the comics. An
or
image
Krang.
has been released about the Power Rangers and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and like the art that I've been seeing is super interesting. I don't know a lot about that news, but you'll be able to find it on the Illuminerdi.com.
That's right.
Okay,
that's
so
right.
so who was Elgar? Like, who is Elgar?
Elgar is a minion, like a bad guy.
Divatox's minion.
What does he do?
He's a minion, like Squat and Babu.
Same thing, yeah, like Squat and Babu.
Okay,
yeah,
so
Divatox is his aunt.
Okay, got it. So he doesn't have like any like specific quirks or like all the monsters have like like their.
Oh no, he doesn't actually.
So he's just like a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there was a composer whose name was Elgar.
Alien.
So like there's no like music or anything that's associated with him.
No.
Wait, but in the other one there is.
In Turbo, I feel like
no. Like in the Sentai there is. He's somehow tied to music. There's some bit where he does like some rock like overture or something. His earring was supposed to mean something.
Huh.
So that's interesting. I didn't know that.
I mean that could be a connection, but Toku's saying that it's supposed to be Al Gore.
What?
I'm pretty sure.
But that's I'm assuming that's a joke.
We're too old.
That's a good one. We all love that joke. Oh man.
Do we? I don't really.
No.
I saw it.
I don't think Al Gore is relevant anymore.
I didn't want to.
But no. So anyway, with the Turtles episode, like I was just disappointed that they didn't get, because like in the cartoon that I grew up watching in the 80s, early 90s, like Donatello was all about technology.
Yeah. And
Krang had the Technodrome. So like, why didn't we get like Krang in a Technodrome or in that exo like android suit that he wore and that could have blown up and been.
Well, this is actually from the series. It was a live action series for
yeah
that was coming out around the same time. So they're trying to booster that, and we kind of talked about it last week, where I didn't know where Venus came from. It's specifically for that live action series that they came out with, because I know what the one you're talking about, and I thought, man, with each of their like specific, like Leonardo being the leader, could talk to like someone like Andros and like, hey, this is how you bring the team together and reconnect and work. Donatello, and like that would have been better with Billy actually, because I don't know who the techie one is now.
I don't know.
We don't have like a techie one, and like kind of the goofy one. We don't have that, but Michelangelo would have been really good with Rocky, and then Raphael being kind of like the badass. I feel like him and Jason would have been able to connect pretty well, but. For the comics.
For the comics.
But let's jump into this week's episodes. Never Stop Searching. This one was actually pretty interesting to me. It gives Andros a little more of a backstory and like what his mission is in this series. Yeah,
because I felt like there wasn't a lot of story in those first 4 episodes. Like, I mean, there was.
It was more introduction and trying to get you hyped on space.
Right.
Like, this was potentially the last Power Rangers series, so they're just throwing everything.
I felt like I didn't really get to know any of the characters in those first 4. And in this one, it kind of gave us. You didn't watch
Zeo either, so all these characters are brand new.
Right. So now I know. Okay, Andros is there because he's trying to find his sister because his sister is missing.
Yes.
And he actually has a mission.
Yeah, like this is his thing that he's going on. I am actually a little confused, and maybe since you just watched these, aren't the Power Rangers still looking for Zordon? Because Dark Specter decided to go to Eltar and get Zordon, I'm assuming. We don't know where Alpha 5 is, if he's still alive or dismantled.
Wait, so Alpha 6 is not Alpha 5.
Alpha 5 went with Zordon to
Okay.
Eltar before we got into Turbo.
So did Alpha 6 have Alpha 5's voice?
No,
previously?
Alpha 6 was really obnoxious in Turbo. He was like a very like yo, this is Alpha 6, everyone. Okay. Yeah, it was
because
really
the whole thing with getting a new voice kind of threw me off.
Yes, I think it probably didn't do well with a lot of audiences, which I'm so thankful that they decided to change that. Alpha 6's voice is now like it's a lot more palatable.
It's very similar to the voice of Alpha 5, but it's different enough where I was like, that's not what he sounded like before.
It's a lot more feminine. I'm not sure the voice actor is.
It is a female that's doing his voice.
Okay.
I don't remember her name, but I looked it up. Yeah, because I was trying to figure out why he sounded different.
Yeah, for sure. But like this is a big thing that Andros has a sister. Obviously, based off of this little like flashback, this girl who has curly blonde hair and has a bunch of accessories in it. She's obviously Astronema, right?
So I mean, I know that.
Are they trying to make that a secret? Because I feel like dude, you weren't even trying to like hide this connection. I
Well-
haven't seen this series before.
See, I don't know, because like we've interviewed Melody Perkins before.
Okay, so you already know. So it is true.
So I knew kind of who she was, and when I was looking up information on the episode, and I saw in the credits that her name was Astronema / Corone.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh,
I didn't
okay,
see. I
well
don't
now
look
I
at
know
credits. I was elected to lead, not to read.
Not to
so
lead. I like it to lead, not to lead.
yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
I mean, but that already like kind of makes it super interesting to me. Obviously, this is very Star Wars, which is why I'm wearing like my Star Wars shirt today. The whole brother sister relation.
Mhm.
Like I don't know if she's being possessed by evil or something else, or she just was like picked up. You know, kind of like
Kind of
maybe
like-
Gamora and like Thanos and like raised a certain
Right,
way to
right.
build this, or you know.
We do know at least that she was kidnapped.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now with that, you're getting a little bit more. So you're learning, all right, they were playing outside, and boom, she got kidnapped.
And I'm curious why they got her. So I'm guessing probably she's the stronger, or like her force powers or telekinesis is obviously stronger. Like she was the one able to throw the little ball toy like pretty far. So I'm guessing she was the chosen one, and Andros and her will have to face off. I think it'll be a fun
I like
twist
that.
because
I like
last
that.
week I was like kind of convinced that Andros like killed his last team to be like the #1 Power Ranger.
No.
But it would be fun to see it switch.
like there
for
could
her
be only one.
No, I
yeah,
remember
for
she
her
said
to
that.
be evil and then for her to come good, and for Andros to find out that we sympathize with him, thinking he's a protagonist, and at the end we find out that he's actually like the manipulative, the crazy one.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
Well,
trying to like talk and not cough at the same time.
well,
the coronavirus is going crazy.
I'm looking in the chat right now, and of course, Thomas the spoiler Franco says Astromina Corone was kidnapped and raised evil.
Oh, well, great. Now I
Makes sense.
now
I
I don't
mean-
have a reason to watch the next couple of
No,
episodes.
but I like that.
What?
Okay, so
Thanks-
conversation-
thanks-
Show's over,
Thomas.
guys. You know?
Okay, but I like this. This is a kid series, and I feel like if they're already laying these breadcrumbs, and you can go back, and if you didn't realize it, I mean, because I'm older, so I'm looking for these things at this point, you know. But as a
Right.
kid, I don't think I would have picked up on it.
He said,
So-
"My bad." He messing with you, man.
Yeah, this is
The show has been around for
22 years.
I think we got
At
it.
least this episode aired in 1998. So
Yeah,
I think
Sorry.
we're beyond the spoiler wall.
But in the in-space subplot with Corone was totally predictable, says some other people in the chat.
Okay, so it's not just me. So even as a kid, I guess you were able to pick up on that. But I like that. It makes it way more interesting. It's already giving them a lot more depth. Even if you know the long game,
Oh, yeah?
I want to see it unfold. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean, there's certain things like for me, spoilers would ruin something like The Sixth Sense for me. Like if I knew how The Sixth Sense ended, that would completely change how I was watching the movie and kind of ruin that twist. Knowing things for like comic book or like this kind of stuff, it's not so much.
It's not so much. It's not so
It's
much.
true,
I mean,
and
you
I
know,
think the investment
everyone
in
else
Power
does it.
Rangers too
Yeah.
for me is like a little bit different than a movie. I don't know. I'm interested to see how it unfolds and what more backstory we're gonna get for both of them.
See, now this is a good question. Abram the Realtor says, question, could the plot threads be predictable since we already knew or no? And for that, that's interesting because
I didn't
I mean,
know.
Elle doesn't.
I'd say a little column A, a little column B.
Yeah.
See,
'cause
Elle
I
doesn't,
mean,
Josh has an
I don't-
idea, and I do know.
Not
And that's very
not
interesting.
putting down Power Rangers at all, but
Right.
it's not exactly complex storytelling.
It's aimed
No,
for like a 7
no.
to 10-year-old demographic.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine, but that makes me more interested in it as an adult, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Like most of these shows, most of the episodes have a formula. It's like, okay, a little bit of story, action. We see what the bad guy's doing. Then it cuts back to the Rangers. Like there's a formula for how all of them are plotted out. So once you're kind of familiar with that, it's pretty easy to figure out where it's going and how it's going to.
Yeah,
Progress
and I'm
going
also
forward.
kind of curious about like how the story. It seems like Bulk and Skull's story is eventually going to intertwine with the Power Rangers story in some way, shape, or form. With the crazy scientists being like alien eggs, and like they're kind of bumbling around. And you guys know how much I love Bulk and Skull, and I
Oh,
always
yeah.
wanted their characters to develop more and to be more intertwined with the
So
actual story.
how far past Mighty Morphin are we? Because in Mighty Morphin they were supposed
Mighty
to be what
Morphin,
like,
then Alien Rangers,
Yeah.
Turbo.
but like in
Yeah.
Power Rangers
Zero
time,
Turbo.
how many
Oh,
years
my
do you
God.
think it's been?
I want to say at least a few years.
Like five
5
years.
Yeah.
5 years.
Since
So
the original cast graduated, because
Oh
Billy
my
graduated
God.
early.
so Bulk and Skull should be in like their early 20s now
No.
in the show.
They should be
Mid-20s.
They should be 20.
They should be 20.
They should be 20, but then they were supposed to graduate because all the other Mighty Morphins graduated.
Bulk and Skull were supposed to graduate.
In Zeo.
Well,
Graduated in Zeo.
everyone was supposed to.
I mean, yeah, everyone's supposed to graduate.
Okay.
But yeah, were they? I don't know.
Okay, so they're in their early 20s, and which is like really good. They've had so many jobs. I feel like they're incredibly accomplished as being police officers, of being detectives, of
Are
like
they?
I don't know.
If I got a resume from them, I'm like, all
It's
right.
kind of like Homer Simpson,
How
man.
long
Like,
have
maybe
you worked
he's
there?
this,
Right,
he was an
right.
astronaut. He was like a roadie for like Smashing Pumpkins. Like, who else can have a resume like him? You know?
But the thing is, it's like you're looking at the resume and you're like, oh, okay, wow, it was only a month, only 2 months, only. When you look at that, you're like,
Hey, also when you see
I
Angel
don't
Grove
even
though,
need
there's
to
like a
know
lot
that
of
you're-
monsters. It's like, hey, the monster crushed the detective agency. Hey, the
That's
monster
true.
crushed the juice bar.
That's true. Because
Hey,
I can't say, oh, you were fired.
So,
It's like,
I mean,
Oh,
so that's another kind of weird thing for me with Power Rangers. So, in the Power Rangers universe, they all just rely on the Power Rangers to save. Like there's no like in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Like Doctor Who always saves the day.
But nobody knows about it though.
Nobody,
Like
but
the Doctor isn't really a
but
renowned
but
executive.
Earth has like Unit and like all these other
that's-
Torchwood
yes,
and like all these
yes.
other
But
agencies.
when you think about
Earth and
America,
the-
they
and the
have
Power-
multiple.
and-
Like we know the Ninja Turtles exist in New York,
yes.
so
we do
every
that.
area
True,
must
true.
have some sort of
Yeah, so
superhero.
yeah, that's actually
Metropolis,
something that I'm
Gotham
curious
kind of,
about
yeah.
with the Power Rangers universe is where like is the city where the Power Rangers live the only place that anything is ever actually going on, or have the government set up other things to try and
You'll see
Help.
that Lightspeed Rescue.
Yeah, well, like all that stuff does happen later down the line.
Okay.
Oh,
Trust me.
interesting.
But the Rangers are in what city again?
Angel Grove.
Angel Grove. Is that California?
Yes.
It's supposed to be Los
So-
Angeles.
Right. Okay. So it's definitely California.
definitely
So
Earth.
We're
New York,
protected
yeah,
on
yeah.
both sides.
Yeah.
Now,
New York.
what happens in the middle? What happens in the middle of the flyover states is what I always wonder.
Superman's from
Superman,
Kansas.
yeah.
Well, but
Superman's
I don't know
from
if they're in this world. I mean, I know Ninja Turtles exist.
I
Well,
mean,
because
Power
we-
Rangers.
I mean, there was a Power Rangers DC crossover,
Yes,
so
that's
Was
true
there?
in the comics.
Interesting.
That's
and it's
true.
different universes that kind of came
Yeah,
together,
see,
but
that's the thing.
still, so Smallville and
So, I
Metropolis
mean,
probably
why-
exist there
like
somewhere.
you asked before.
Yeah.
Why don't they just say, let's send a monster to Montana? And the
Yeah.
Rangers like, oh
Yeah.
no!
That's
Dang.
if I was the bad guy Power Rangers, that's what I would do. I'd be like, all right, so they live in Angel Grove. I'm gonna send this to Pasadena, or I'm gonna send this to
But they
Miami.
But they can jet over though. They
Well, the
have
thing
that.
is, like,
They
I'm
have that
kind of
power.
curious.
But they
Yeah.
always fight in the desert.
Well, you bring up
Sure.
a really good point. So Power Rangers were protecting Angel Grove. Now that the Power Rangers are in space, can any of the other minions, like if Rita decides, if Zed, Divatox, whatever, if they decide to attack Angel Grove now, they are completely unprotected.
But see, that's something else I was thinking about, because in this, Andros obviously he's a Power Ranger from space.
Yes.
So we know that there's different factions of Power Rangers out there that are doing different
Yeah,
things.
at
so
least
maybe
one
yes.
other faction so
Yeah,
far. And
so
then we have
maybe
Aquitar as well. wherever
maybe
might
now
be.
that these Rangers are gone and in space, maybe there's another team that took their place on Earth.
I
mean,
don't
there
think
might
so, because the thing is, when something does happen, if something big enough happens, NASADA can contact them and tell them, Rangers, there's a problem in
be. And we do have
you
that in
know,
that satellite
Bum
episode.
F,
that-
whatever, you know?
Yeah,
It's
so-
weird that they can like contact the Power Rangers, even though they had to leave kind of like
Yeah, I
last
did
minute
think that.
and
I
not
did
really
think
set
that.
up like telecommunications
I
or
did
anything
think
like
that, but remember, the Rangers had to land on Earth to get some stuff
Oh, the
and fix their
previous-
ship.
yeah.
So
Remember,
what-
fly off stars. Like,
What
okay,
did
they've got a connection again?
what did you guys think about the way this alien planet looked?
The hot one?
Uh,
The one where they're all sweating?
The satellite search.
oh, you mean Irwindale? Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Ever since I found that out, when they came here and they talked, I was like, oh my god, it literally is Irwindale.
Right,
like, I
right.
see it now. But I was tripped out when they were like talking to Alpha, and Alpha was like, he just said in broken words, like it was like unstable, erupt any minute, like kind of
The
cut off.
volcano.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, that was enough for me. I heard what he said. Let's go.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go. And they were like, I don't know. Things are broken
Yeah,
up.
I was kind of confused because he was like, I don't know, must be breaking up. I was like, that was a complete sentence.
That was a
And I
complete
felt like
sentence.
you just, and this isn't the annoying Alpha anymore either. Like, Why are you trying to be like, oh, it's breaking up, crumpling paper. Okay, bye.
Right, yeah, it wasn't even like a McDonald's drive-through. Like
No,
it
was clear. It was clear, and then they were just like, "Oh well, I guess we don't know." And I'm like, "You guys are idiots. Come on now." But then when they saw it, they were like, "Oh, I get it." And then we had the whole problem. But the planet, like you asked,
yeah,
what did you think about it?
Because it felt like Earth.
I mean, a lot of it is like Earth. You can even go back to old sci-fi. Like, you look at stuff like Star Trek, you look at stuff like Twilight Zone. Like, they're all actual places on Earth. It's not like Power Rangers. Yeah. They're spending their budget on the actual sets this year. Let's not get nitpicky.
Yeah, but the sets on the ship were actually really good. I was
very Star Wars.
I was really impressed with a lot of that. A lot of it, and like the shift between the Japanese footage and the American footage.
Yeah.
Like with the sets and the ships and everything looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's like interesting. We're like, as adults, you're like, oh, that's a bunch of pylons. They decided to record with all
right. Because I mean, like you know, I've been rewatching Stargate SG-1.
Okay.
And most of the alien planets look like the forest in Toronto or Vancouver or wherever it is. They like it's just like, oh well, there's a lot of trees.
Kids don't know. Like, I wouldn't know about like different filming locations. This is something like all meta, like outside of the episode. So I think it's pretty good. Their set locations are better. I'm glad that they're not just at the was it the Ken Miller Park?
Kenneth Hahn Park.
Kenneth Hahn Park. That's like. That was every episode, and there was supposed to be in a bunch of different places, but it was always the same park. Like, they're doing different things.
I'm interested to see how over the course of the season or this series, because the series is 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
Well,
it's one and then
season?
They do Lost Galaxy.
Gotcha. So I'm interested to see how because like that's one of the things that I'm interested in is like the visuals and how things look and how things differentiate from each other. So I'm interested to see how they say, okay, well, this is Earth, this is this planet, because it's Power Rangers in space, so I expect to see...
Well, they put the filters over it typically, so when they're in a different area, like if they're underwater, like obviously they're not, it's like blue, and this one it has like a red tint to it, and Earth is just our normal color schemes of like no filters whatsoever. So another planet, like old time, it's like sepia, black and white, so that way you know it's time travel. Like they work with what they got, you know?
Right.
Now, this episode for me was kind of paint by the numbers with a touch of exposition. The whole thing about Andros and his sister and the chase.
The forever searching.
Yes, exactly. And with that, I did kind of enjoy the fact that it was like they gave us a little something.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a horrible, boring filler. It was like, even though it could have been considered a filler, it was a filler with some level of content, which makes it not a filler.
Well, that episode too, like, I love the character design of Ecliptor. Like, I think that guy looks super badass. I want to see him, like, the grid, the neon grid, the black,
I like
the really hard steel armor. Like, that character looks phenomenal. Like, better than Goldar, and you guys know how much I love Gold.
Oh, yes.
This guy is great.
Honestly, so far out of what I remember, Ecliptor is probably one of the best costume designs.
Really is, and even like the putty patrol that is now the not the cogs. It was like the putties, and then we had the cogs, and then we had the Piranatrons. But these guys,
Velocity something. No, they're like like for velocity.
Okay, but these minions now that we have for Astrona is like probably the best too. They're super cute. They have the really big eyes. Mm-hmm. They're adorable. I fucking love them.
I was waiting for someone to correct me and be like, "The name is blah blah blah." Usually they do that really quick. No one's done that yet. I'll wait; they'll come up. But so we do have some errors and some notes on the episode.
Okay.
I'm gonna let Captain Deep Cut help me out here.
All right.
And give us that info.
So you want the errors first or the notes first?
Errors first.
Errors first. Okay. So which episode is this that I'm looking at?
This is for the stop searching. Never stop searching.
No, it's okay. So errors. The growling creature in the footage from KO35 didn't sound anything like Darkonda. I wouldn't know that.
I didn't.
On to the next.
Mention the card. I don't.
Considering that Ecliptor, voiced by Lex Lang.
Oh, really?
Only traveled to KO35 because Andros was already there. It isn't revealed that the life form that Deca originally picked up from the planet actually was.
Let's get Lex Lang on the show.
Yes.
We probably could.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
So okay, so
costume. I would love for him to show.
Considering that Ecliptor only traveled to KO35,
because then he would leave without it, and I'd be like, "This is mine now."
Okay, yeah, I don't know that that's really an error, just like a missing missing information.
Oh, we actually can see chat now. This is fantastic.
So let's hit the notes.
Yeah. Well, what was this last? Ecliptor appears in his first form with cape in Mega Ranger footage, but his second form with the enhanced right arm in original footage on the Dark Fortress.
Thank you, Black Queen, by the way. Quantrons are my favorite.
So that's continuity error.
I didn't even see the cape. But, I mean, what was weird for me was that his head flew off. It started... I was like, why is this even tactical?
Yeah.
Well, his head flying off and shooting lasers. He could have shot lasers with his head on. He didn't, go behind him, shoot lasers, and his body didn't keep... it just... The body stood there and the head floated around.
Hey,
I'm like, you could have just ran around him and shot.
No, but he can rotate. So he can shoot.
But that
and more 360 instead of the 180 radius. I don't geometry, as you guys can tell. I did not do well in the math.
I just looked at it like, what is happening? And
I don't know. I kind of like it. It reminded me of Headless Horseman kind of style.
Yeah.
It's just it's more for show, man. That's cool. It's cool. I'm down.
I mean, there was a
lightning bolt.
There was a game. For the original Xbox, I think it was, that I really like, called Stubbs the Zombie.
Uh-huh.
And Ben Kirkard's a zombie, so they're playing as. And one of the things that you can do is you can take his head off and roll it like a bowling ball, and you could use it to control people in other places.
What?
So I always dig just weird weird story shit like that.
Being naughty. Go ahead. Keep going with her.
So notes. The story of Corona. Is it Corona or is it Corona?
Corona.
Okay, is introduced. Because we saw.
It's not my thing. It's not my thing. I don't know the monster.
Darkonda makes a cameo appearance in the episode. The hand that hatches from the egg in Bulk's dream is that of the Pexter's monster from Mighty Morphin's Foul Play. I don't remember that one.
I remember the shrimp monster that came out. That thing looked delicious.
That shrimp monster, I was
just I'm gonna crack the legs off, rip off the head, and peel that, fucking dip that in some garlic butter sauce, and eat that thing. That thing was gigantic and looked delicious.
That shrimp monster a recut, a repaint?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think I've seen it before.
Yeah. See, now I was talking with Joe about shrimp tacos earlier, and now I really want shrimp tacos.
Right? And that thing, man, that would be so good in a shrimp taco.
The reason that the Rangers didn't form the Megazord to fight Ecliptor. See, I thought this was rather interesting too, because we haven't seen the Megazord yet.
Right.
We have I'm sorry, the Megazord. Was it Space Megazord? What's it called?
I think we did.
We've seen it. We've seen it come down because it's the head, the spaceship that the Rangers were in connects with the body that was Andros.
Yeah.
So it comes back and they do build the monster, and then we see Alpha pilot it. Was that this episode?
No, that was the next episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So the reason that they didn't form the Megazord to fight giant Ecliptor is because the Megazord battle footage was used in episode 3, and the creators didn't want to reuse it.
Oh.
That's what?
Okay, that's fine. Whatever.
I don't know. Anyone really wouldn't notice that. But then they would have had something extra to put in the notes.
Cool.
And the last note for this episode is Ecliptor returns in this episode despite being destroyed and save our ship. The reason for this is never explained.
Oh, well, that's fine. None of those I feel were exceptionally eye-opening for me.
Hey, so with this being really my first season that I've watched since Mighty Morphin,
right?
Not bad.
Outside of new stuff, I would have none of the stuff I would have recognized with me.
None. That makes sense. I wouldn't have cared. I would have been and what does this mean to me?
Yeah.
All right. So for those of you guys in the chat, what would you guys rate this particular episode, the one that's never stopped searching? And for us here, Josh, you go first. What would you rate this particular episode? Because you had no real frame of reference for other Power Rangers, so I'm curious to see what you would say out of 5.
Based on this being, now my 4th episode in, or 5th episode in, I'm gonna go with a 2.5, 3.
Okay.
Somewhere in there, because I feel like I would have liked more story. I think.
Okay.
I get that the Power Rangers is a fighting show, so a lot of the episode is mostly just the fighting and the action.
Yeah.
But I think I would have liked to have seen a little bit more backstory into Andros and his sister here before kind of moving forward.
I see.
Okay.
What about
so
you?
It wasn't enough.
It wasn't. I feel like it wasn't. It could have been deeper.
Wow. Okay.
It always can be deeper, guys. Let's be real. Go ahead.
Wow. Monster head going
Tune into
deeper.
Quest for Player 2
exactly.
on Thursdays.
Yes.
on
Yes.
Twitch, _Illuminerdi for more conversations like this.
Yeah, we'll talk about Monster Head. Don't worry
I
about
want to see Daniel play Dream Daddy.
That would be fun.
Oh my god!
We should get it.
Yes, yes. Okay. Anyway, so for me, this episode, yes, I agree with you. I didn't think about that before. I actually was satisfied before. Like, okay, hey, you know what? They gave us a little bit of exposition and then some action, and I was like, that was it. It was a quick paint by numbers episode when you really think about it. Not too much really did happen. They had a fight, and then that was it. They kind of told us, hey, here goes Corone, here goes, here goes Corone, and here goes Andros, and Corone was kidnapped. You don't know by who, and that's, of course, supposed to be interesting to figure out who, but you put it together pretty quickly. And along with that, you were just kind of left out like, hey, give me a little bit more. Let me care about the connection between him and his sister more.
Right.
It felt like there was nothing really to care about.
Like, I wonder if, like, 15 years ago, I would feel the same way. Or if the way I'm looking at it now has been influenced by the way shows exist now. Because, like, now like, I watched, like, Star Trek Picard and Star Trek Discovery and, like, The Magicians and, like, all these shows that are 13 episodes long. So it's the shows are really exposition heavy per episode. Yeah. So a lot of them pace it out really well throughout the course of the episode, but there's still a lot of exposition per episode. With this being a 22-minute episode, I feel like that's part of the reason that just doesn't happen, because there's not necessarily a lot of room for it, and there's also a lot more episodes per season.
So now hearing all this, putting everything in together, I'm still going to give this episode out of 5. I'm giving this episode a good 4.
Yeah, that's
a
what
good
I
4.
would
I was, so it's getting a 4.
Especially for Power Rangers, it's aimed at kids, and our first 4 episodes so far in the season didn't really give any character development for any of them. So the fact that they're already thinking ahead, they're doing a slow burn, which works better, for adults, obviously. But the slow burn of, like, let's introduce kind of like an internal conflict for Andros, give him a backstory. Maybe this is why he's sheltered off from everyone else. You can start speculating about his actions and what he's looking for. I thought it was actually really good. I really like Ecliptor. I think that's fun. I like seeing Bulk in school and hopefully maybe intertwining because they're looking for aliens. They're in space. It's like the connection to Earth. So we know whatever is going on Earth, we'll see that through Bulk and Skull. Even though our Rangers are up in space, we kind of had that connection, which I was like, hey, I kind of like this. I think the writing is significantly better, especially coming off of Turbo. That was a terrible season, in my opinion, as you guys know. So, like, watching this, I'm like, oh, it's not gimmicky. It's not introducing the Ninja Turtles, even though that was fun. This is, like, real story development. So, solid 4. Even a 4.5. I don't know if that's too bold to say.
I think for me, like really thinking about it, I would actually go with like a hard 3. Okay. Like this would be like my baseline episode. Like this is like from here. I think either episodes will be better than this one or worse than this one.
Okay, cool. What do we have in the chat? What were people saying? It was going by pretty fast.
Yeah, that's why I'm pulling it down right now. And I got Thomas Fringo with a 4.5. I got Hyper Ryan Muteki.
Yes.
He'll give it a 5.
Nice.
Mikey, Nerd Talk. I like it. Mm-hmm. He'll give it a 4.5. Blur gives it a 4 out of 5. Nice. Ecliptor Heads.
Very high rating.
Barbor 86 gives it a 3.75. Jared Hodges gives it a 4. Larry Newbill 4.5. Abram, the realtor, disagrees with you concerning the show at the moment, but they do.
Yeah, that's what the internet's for.
But they do think that as the show goes on, you'll like it a lot better. So that's actually pretty cool.
Okay.
Edward Sanchez 4 out of 5. Blackwing 4.5 out of 5 because the fight between Andros and Ecliptor was dope.
I really like that. I thought it was fun. It was kind of a weird thing, but hey, Ecliptor has some tricks.
I mean, hey, I'm just saying, I'm Monster Head. I don't know. But Togu says, I mean, hey, this is kind of interesting. Daniel didn't want Monster Head. Josh wanted Daniel to be Dream Daddy and go deeper. So, I mean, yeah.
That's the show that we're doing on.
It's the show that we're talking about.
But we still have one more episode, so the satellite search.
Yes.
What? I don't know. it kind of just brought up other questions too. Like, are you guys looking for Zordon? Are you guys trying to get back to Earth?
Because
Also, do your parents care that you're on a spaceship and haven't really checked in with them? Do you guys have cell phones being like, hey,
Right,
we're
like
also on...
what day of the week was this, and what time? Because like I saw it in like descriptions for other episodes. They go back to school.
really?
So like
Oh, okay.
so
Okay.
so yeah. So
I thought they were
Maybe
in
they're on
college.
a summer break. Maybe.
Right, look at me. I'm in a box.
Right.
yeah. All right.
Let us
Maybe.
know if you can hear us at any given point. We'll just keep on talking.
Jared
Well,
Hodges
just
says,
keep
yeah, the
talking.
Rangers are still in school.
Okay,
Which is
interesting. This kind
scary.
of brings up like a lot. I don't know.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
I mean, I guess we'll see as the season goes on.
A strong
Right,
battle
right.
armor. We get another Easter egg with a necklace. Oh, that was a big
I'm
deal.
interested to see how they get a class to go fight monsters.
that would be interesting. Still no audio. We got it? All right, cool.
Just in time to hear
Larry said
my
Joe.
black lung.
Larry said Joe pulled the plug again. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
true.
that happens. That happens.
Mm.
He's like, wait, how many people are watching?
Oh, it's
Screw
back there.
them.
But yeah, Jared Hodges mentions that they're still in school. We get the blur mentions the Easter egg with a necklace, which is super interesting. And it's like, yeah, so I'm guessing
Well-
that's something that Andros should potentially know. I don't know.
No, you're right. I think so. And I think that's why when she picked up, she was like, no one touches this. She was holding it. You notice Andros wasn't behind her, near
Yeah.
her, or around her. So the thing is, he didn't see it. But if he actually sees it, I bet he'll recognize it and be like, oh, that's my sister. So I think
that
So
was, like, one of
here's
the
another
Horcruxes.
question. I something I didn't look up. Does Deca stand for something? Do we know?
I'm actually not sure.
I
It
think
does.
so. I think
For-
it does. I don't know what, though. It's like digital
Digital emancipated.
I don't know. Digital energy. Computer.
Associate.
Yeah,
Hey, we're gonna go
there you
with that. We're gonna have our producer try to bring that up for us. Hopefully, he can find out that information.
Yeah,
Or
I
actually,
have-
we do have a computer. We probably
We,
did just
we could,
Um,
but once again, we're not going to use Deca.
Oh,
We're going to have someone else use Deca.
Harlow says Cassie and TJ were emancipated adults. I mean, they might be because they were already on the bus from another area coming into Angel Grove. We never get to see their parents.
Hey,
so.
yeah, he came to actually be a coach of
Yeah.
a baseball team.
And,
Play on a baseball team.
and
I thought
Cassie
he was a
wanted
coach.
to
I thought he
perform.
wanted to coach with his uncle. He wanted to play on a baseball team, and she wanted to perform
Yeah. she
with the
had
band thing. So, I mean, their parents don't care about them. That's clearly what we're hearing. So they're latchkey.
I
they're
mean,
latchkey
technology
kids.
back in
fine.
the day, they didn't have
It's
cell
fine.
phones
Yeah,
or
it's
anything.
fine.
So
Latchkey
it's cool.
kids. Nobody cares, The
And
parents don't think they're at home. They don't know. They
it's
don't
fine.
know.
It's kind of a thing in the Power Rangers where like parents sometimes care if the plot demands it, but most of the time they don't. Just so you know, Power Rangers.
Yeah,
are
most of the time you
great.
don't even know that they have parents until they show up like 10 episodes down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Parents' Day. And you're like, oh, you have parents? I have parents. Like, they're shocked too. So it doesn't matter. But no, they did mention Zordon.
Yeah,
when,
like that. He's
Was it Cassie? That when they were like,
But one of the missions.
yeah,
were on,
when they were like, one of the recordings or whatever, they got and they were like,
well, it's
I
a
wonder,
broken
what is
CD.
it?
Like, I wonder if this was Zordon trying to reach out to
She
us
said,
potentially.
but yeah, she said that at the very beginning, though, right before they did the title sequence.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, hey, this is from NASADA. One of our satellites was shot down. And they were like, oh, it had to be astronomer. I wonder why. Something that they didn't want them to get out. Could it be a message from Zordon? And then he was like, let's go to blah, blah, blah. And then the title sequence comes on. So,
okay. Also, the blur mentions one more thing I mentioned earlier is like, where's a girl for TJ? I actually kind of thought about this. Where is the dude for my Asian girls in Power Rangers? Why does Trini never get a love interest? Why does Cassie have like the Phantom Ranger that never fucking comes back or amounts to anything? We also have a random like cursor on our screen. Oh, it's gone.
oh, it's gone. It's gone. 'Cause I was
yeah,
going to swat
like-
it. I was so
Like
ready.
Zach was a ladies' man, he got like the dancing like karate
Yeah,
going
that's
on,
true.
and
That's true.
yeah, we definitely.
Yeah, well,
we definitely got
wasn't he
Arrow.
always trying to go out with Angela?
Yeah.
And
That
my thing
was
is,
the thing, but he was.
but also
he was
that's
ladies'
not
man.
good because the thing is kind of like. So what are you saying that black guys are always just like poonhounds, which is always.
I don't know, but TJ does.
Like,
he's got them ripped abs through his shirt. Like he is
Yeah,
looking good,
so,
but
I mean,
there's not a whole lot of
But for the Asian women, there's nothing like no one. I don't like them. I don't at all. Like it's not fair.
Trudy had Richie for like 1.5 episodes.
Yeah, well, that's kind of true.
Our computer keeps glitching out to the screensaver every time.
I'm seeing
you
weird
move over
things
this
pop
way.
up, and I'm like, what's going on?
That's just our view.
Okay. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. JK, you guys.
Oh, Thomas Franco says, didn't they develop a relationship for TJ and Cassie?
I mean, they might, but right now it's like slim pickings. They're in space on a spaceship, so I mean, unless you're gonna be like, what's his name, waking up like Katniss Everdeen, screwing up everything on that one movie I never saw. It's slim pickings about who you get to date on a spaceship.
Well, Jared Hodges says, hey, Phantom Ranger actually does come back, and Cassie still has feelings for him.
Oh man, that
So
unrequited love
be
is
prepared.
strong. All right, I like that.
Prepared.
Something to look forward to. I'm glad he comes back. Hopefully they'll have some kind of romantic interchange because it's interesting. I kind of like the way that space is set up because they don't need a lot of auxiliary characters, even though that's what I liked about Zeo. Having like these other characters come in, but I like that. Hey, they're always in the same clothes, so the transformation always looks good every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I like that they don't have to worry about extra people kind of coming on, like the baddies and everything.
Oh,
but
yeah, that's true,
they can
that's
really
true.
focus on the Rangers and develop their stories and their personalities. So I feel like, hey, can't wait for the rest of the season.
But do you feel on this episode, was there any character development?
Not really. It was
Yeah,
a lot
not
of
much.
TSS Machina with the CDs falling out. Like that was super fortunate for the Rangers that just
No, that
happened.
wasn't Dave's. That was his telekinesis.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
He was just
That's
like.
why he was looking at it. He was like.
I did. I liked
his telekinesis.
I did like the thing in the beginning of this episode with the hot sauce and the milkshake.
Oh, the beginning of the season.
The beginning
of the season, yeah, he did.
And he did that with a towel too to remind us that he does have telekinesis powers. But sometimes it comes so easily where he's like towel. Akio towel.
Oh wait,
and
now
then sometimes it was CDs where he was like, oh no.
Wait, am I mixing episodes together now?
Yeah, that was like the first episode.
Okay.
As soon as he came to school,
right.
went back to Earth to repair the ship or whatever.
Oh, right, okay.
He did it that way when they were in the new juice bar.
Yeah. Someone did some cramming, ladies and gentlemen. Bravo, though.
I mean,
hey, man, I love it. Yeah,
oh, sure as we go forward, I'm only watching 2 episodes at a time now. I'll be able to keep them a little bit straighter.
We may build up and do 3 at a time. And
we can definitely do that, man.
Yeah.
Elgar is such a creep. Out of all the minions they brought back, it's like, I guess maybe his suit.
It's just like he just has a weird shaped head.
His earrings. Look at his earrings. Like everything about Elgar is kind of like it's off.
And like
it's
the
off.
eyes.
He's got
like it's just like really beady eyes.
Hey, can we bring up the Astro Megazord?
And that
look at the Astro Megazord. That actually looks
like
pretty cool. I love the
smile.
idea of the spaceship. They don't need to be piloted.
Like he's not looking at you; he's looking through you. Like someone more important is behind you, and that's who he's paying attention to, and you're just there.
It kind of reminds me. Do you watch Sword Art Online?
Yeah.
Are you caught up?
Oh no.
So you haven't seen like any of Alice's Asian?
Oh no, God no.
Because there's like there's a minion guy in that who he looks like a cross between this guy and like Devastator, like the clown from Spawn.
Oh no way! Really?
It's like it's just like a really weird character too.
Elgar just looks scary to me. Like, yeah, I know he's slow, but because of that, I don't know how.
Although it's also like a Stewie Griffin head that's just like spun 90 degrees.
It's already
like Stewie's got the football head.
And they just put it up like that. Oh, there it is. So Elle,
the Astro
what's
Megazord.
going on with
I
Astro Megazord?
actually kind of like this one. I love like the basic colors that it has. It's very
It kind of looks like a transformer.
Yeah,
it is a transformer. It looks like Shockwave.
Yeah.
Not Shockwave. What's the one with the tape?
Not audio. Soundwave.
Soundwave.
Yeah. Because that looks like the boombox.
Yeah, and I like it. I like that it's more. It's not as colorful. It's not a bunch of things coming together of like 5 different pieces. You just get the head, you get the body, and it transforms. I actually really like this Megazord. It's super fun. I'm glad that we got to see it in here. And Blackman mentions it sucks we don't get any explanation for where Lieutenant Stone went. Like, he's in fertilizer heaven in his garden. We don't have to worry about him. Yeah. And the Polaris' crustacean monster fight made me laugh, made me hungry. Talked about that. But what did you guys think about this episode in general?
In general, It was okay. I didn't like it as good as the previous episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because, again, I feel like there was even less story in this one than there was in that one.
It was the CDs. It was kind of weird. It kind of just brought us back to like, hey, we are looking for Zordon. He is captured, and his life force apparently will be being sucked away. So we should probably hurry up on that.
For me, it just dated everything when they had a CD. I was like,
it's better than floppy disks. When you look at really old episodes, like even animated, floppy disks were the things that were going to keep
so
at least we're in CDs. Kids still
last
know what
season
CDs.
we had a floppy disk.
CDs are still like relevant today.
So in my rewatch of Stargate, so Stargate started in 1995 and it ran through like 2005 or 2006 or something like that. So it was on when 4:3 was the standard format. And stayed on through the shift into high definition and 16:9.
So you saw the.
So you saw the switch, but also because of when it started and when it ended, it took place during that time when technology made that huge jump from like Zach Morris style cell phones to smartphones.
Right.
So like seeing the technology progress in there is really interesting, and like for me, like I think Power Rangers. Obviously, every couple of seasons now is a new series, but I think it would have been interesting to see longer takes in Power Rangers to see how like things in the real world kind of affect how that goes. Because now like when eventually we get to the first HD season of Power Rangers, it's all new.
That's true.
So that jump in technology isn't going to be I don't think it's going to be as noticeable.
So on this episode, were there any like references to like sci-fi tropes that you remember?
Not
that you noticed that.
Not really that I noticed. Really, so far the only like overt reference that I could really see was that Andros' ship kind of looks like the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, it does, like the rounded part. And even some of the shots they do is directly taken from Star Wars. Like they have the one where it's like kind of panning that flies over the camera like angles. And I'm like, directly from Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, some of those are because I mean Star Wars stole a lot from other things too. But a lot of those felt like pretty standard like sci-fi action like space. Space shots. But like as far as like direct references within the story within like visuals, I didn't really see anything that.
But I feel like
really,
being
really
chained to the
out.
ground in the desert is always a big thing. You see that a lot in like Twilight Zone. You see that a lot in sci-fi in general, where it's like we're gonna leave you out to dry. And
I mean, but that's also a thing. God, I'm gonna date myself now. What was the cartoon that Brendan Fraser did the live action movie for? Dudley Do Right.
Yes.
The villain would always put like his girlfriend on the train tracks, on the railroad tracks.
It's like very tropey, but I don't know. It's kind of fun. It was not my favorite episode, but I don't know.
Well, talking about things and not being the favorite, not being the best. Let's talk about some errors.
Yeah, and then for those of you in the chat, go ahead and try to rate it.
Let's see if these errors were actually errors this time.
Let's see if there actually are errors.
Oh, all right. So, for some reason, Astronema didn't immediately destroy the discs upon obtaining them for the Rangers. That's not an error. But that's really, a plot device.
Yeah,
yep. I mean, they never really do things.
They've got like a little asterisk here saying it's likely she wanted to verify whether the discs did contain the information she sought before destroying them. So again, that's not really an error. It's just maybe a plot hole. Not even a plot hole. It's just that we didn't explain this.
Yeah.
When Andros said, "Good job, Alpha, we're back," upon the Rangers taking control of the Astro Megazord, a hand can clearly be seen behind his seat. I did not notice that.
I did notice that.
But I can see it there.
This. Yeah, okay, I noticed that. And I was wondering why he did that. Yeah.
Clawhammer was facing the Rangers when the Astro Megazord landed in front of him, but for some reason he was walking away from the Rangers when he was fighting the Astro Megazord afterward.
Oh.
I did notice that, but I assumed that it was just
a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they do weird things in Power Rangers, so
all the time.
It did stand out to me as like the hand would have if I had seen that.
So those are all the errors.
Yeah, those are all the errors.
So
that we've
now
got,
let's get into the notes and find out what's going on there.
So we've got the planet the Rangers visit in this episode. Calderon is named after Ray Calderon, who created and was the former webmaster of noted websites Ranger Central and Ranger Board.
Oh.
Whoa,
I would not have known that.
that's nice.
But yeah, that's it. That's interesting. Alpha 6 pilots the Astro Megazord in this episode, becoming the second Alpha robot to be able to pilot Zords. Alpha 5, his predecessor, and the only other Alpha robot that we've seen, is the first, because he's the only other one that we've seen.
Yeah. Well.
When he piloted the Super Zero Zord and Red Battle Zord by remote control, and Where in the World is Zero Ranger 5, which is that a reference to Where in the World's Carmen San Diego?
No, I don't.
I don't know. I don't know that episode. So
what do you
Wait,
mean?
the
Wait.
so there was an episode called Where in the World is Zero Ranger 5.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be.
I don't know that episode really.
The Power Ranger where he went missing for King for a day. Right?
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, like, they take the titles and they do a lot of references to, like, pop culture things. So it might be. It might just be a random thing where it's just like...
Where they're just like, oh, this is a good name.
Yeah.
That's the end. The Super Zeo, and he also controlled the Super Zeo Megazord in Hawaii Zeo, which obviously Hawaii 5. Right?
Yeah.
Astronoma's real identity was hinted in this episode when her locket fell off during her while fighting with Cassie.
See, but they didn't really show in the flashback that she received a necklace.
The necklace,
or that
yeah.
Maybe she did have it, but it was so far and so grainy, it's not something I would have been able to pick up on anyway. But, I mean, even then, I still already assumed that was...
Right.
Just based off of the curly hair and she likes to put accessories in them, so...
And then there was a song in this episode called Go Fly Win.
Oh, yeah, the fight songs in this were actually really fantastic. I think someone already mentioned that in the chat, which was super fun. Like, the music they have for this season, I think is
fight
really
scene,
catchy.
the fight scene in this episode was really fun too. Just with like the Zord kind of like hanging off the cliff, like Mustafa.
Yeah.
You know, almost
Mufasa,
Mustafa, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Who was Mustafa?
I don't know.
Mustafa was Austin Powers.
Mustafa.
Oh, Will Ferrell, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, my leg, I broke it.
It's starting to smell like almonds. It's not.
Oh my god, I love it. Oh god, you didn't.
I don't know.
Austin Powers, come on. I'm gonna show you
man.
that clip. It's funny on its own.
So, how would you rate this? How would you rate this episode, Josh?
Because I didn't dislike this episode.
Okay.
But I did like the previous episode more.
Okay.
But I think this episode was also the same quality, so I'm gonna go with 3 again.
All right. Cool.
Okay. Well, for me, this episode had a little bit more going on with it. So with it still, I won't say it was better than the last episode, but it was on par with it. So again, for me, I'm gonna give this one a 4.
I'm gonna give it a 3. I mean, it was pretty cool. I like the idea that the Megazord doesn't have to be piloted by any of the Rangers. So it seems like Deca might be able to control it. Alpha is able to control it. So they kind of have like, you know, the guy in the chair, which can also help out the Rangers when they are preoccupied with other things. We had it in a couple of other episodes, but actually seeing them like, hey, I can control every single aspect of the Megazord through whatever system they have. I was like, hey, this is pretty interesting. Other than that, I figured the necklace meant something, but
True.
I don't know. It was all right. And we have the ratings at the top for us to easily read.
Wow,
As I
thanks.
cough out my lungs over here.
Perfect. All right, well, looking into it for the ratings, you want to do that?
Yeah, the Blur gives it a 3 out of 5. Hyper Rhyme Muteki gives it a 4 out of 4. Do you mean 4 out of 5? I think you mean a 4 out of 5.
5 out of 7.
5 out of 5. Thomas Franco gives it a 5 out of 5. Larry Newbill gives it a 3. Jared Hodges gives it a 3. Blackwing gives it a 3 out of 5. And Mikey at Nerd Talk gives it a 3. So we're kind of like in the same. Like, it's pretty good. It's not the worst. Definitely not the best. I'm waiting for my first 5 out of 5 episode to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how long that's going to take.
Have you had a 5 out of 5 episode yet?
This season, no.
Not yet.
But in previous seasons, you have.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I usually give a, like, depending, like, it takes me a while to give it a 5. I don't want to,
Right.
like, right out the gate give anything a 5 because I'm a little chintzy with my ratings like that. But, yeah. It seems like we're on the way to have some good quality episodes. I almost gave the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one a 5, just because it's a new idea. We haven't seen a mashup.
Honestly, like I would have given that one like a 4 to 4.5, just because it was fun.
Yeah, that's fine. I was like, they thought that this was going to be the last season of Power Rangers, so they're throwing a bunch of different ideas, giving it their all, like trying to see what sticks and what doesn't. And so far, I like the way it's going.
So,
I have the black lung.
oh no, you're fine. Don't do that, please. It's horrible. You're like, I have the black lung. yeah.
And Thomas Franco, yeah,
The
we already mentioned that.
sad cough. Oh man, it kills me. But Thomas Franco says we
Yeah,
forgot to
we
mention.
mentioned that last season, so
We
we kind
did.
of already know. And obviously, like Juice Bar, I don't know if it's there. They're going to a new place. Obviously, when they go back to Earth. To
Yeah,
the new area.
owned by some sassy black lady.
You know,
Yeah.
this
Which is
restaurant
fine.
actually reminds me of the was it the Dino Bite Cafe from two or three seasons ago?
Okay.
Dino
Dino
Charge.
Charge.
Yeah,
It does.
like
it does
just
kinda-
the layout inside looks
I
very
think
similar.
so,
What
yeah.
I remember that looking like in a few episodes
and
that I
that's
saw.
interesting because it's like we know the Dino Bite Cafe is all the way over there in New
Mhm.
Zealand on set over there or on some sound stage, and this one was here, and it was just like, huh? They kind of took some ideas.
Yeah, I
from there
mean,
and carried over.
restaurants are gonna look similar.
pretty much,
but-
but a restaurant / recreational area is a little
Mhm.
different, my friend. A little
That
different.
is that is true.
But yeah, I feel like that kind of wraps it up for us
I
this week.
agree.
I want to remind you guys one more time that Derek Stephen Prince is going to be joining us next week on Retro Ranger Wrap Up. Please follow us.
Nope.
No.
He's going to be here for a Q&A live at the Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach after the episode.
After the
At
episode.
what time?
7.
7:30.
30.
At 7:30 Pacific Standard Time.
Hey, you know what's the best way to keep up to date on all of this is if you follow all of our social medias. We are on Instagram at _Illuminerdi. We are on Facebook if you look for the Illuminerdi. We are on
Twitter.
Tweeter.
at the _Illuminerdi. We are everywhere. Please make sure to follow us. We will post all these things on our stories and our posts if you want up-to-date information. And if you want up-to-date information on anything in the nerd and geek culture, please visit theilluminerdi.com. That's where you'll find all news and articles related to all of this stuff.
That's correct. And also, I know you guys are talking about how, I want to be able to give you guys a super chat. Right now, unfortunately, the channel isn't up for us to do that. We need about 1,000 viewers. You guys spread the subscribers. So go ahead and spread the word. Tell your friends.
And
Tell people to
subscribe if
come
you
over.
haven't already.
Exactly. And in the meantime, what you can do
Is
you
follow
can
us
head
on
over-
Twitch,
Ooh,
where you
okay.
can support us with subscriptions and
gems.
bits and
Bits.
cheers and all that kind of fun stuff.
Or-
Shay and I will be
I was
live
gonna say
later
or.
playing some random game.
Or
We also have a Patreon. It is for our comic book that will be coming out called Cosmic Protectors. We've been working on it extremely hardcore since last year. We have Tracy Lynn Cruz reprising her role as Ashley Hammond. She will be voice acting all of that. If you want us to support us there, go to our patreon.com /Cosmic Protectors. We have some great rewards for you that we have every month, and we would really appreciate your help. It's what helps us put on shows like this.
Pretty
Especially
much.
since we don't have the super chats anymore. Any way that you can support us, even if you can't financially, just doing subscribe and sharing it out on your own personal social medias really does help us.
Absolutely.
a lot.
heck yeah. So until then, I guess we'll see you guys on Thursday. No. Wait, do we have anything
You will.
else? Yeah. Is there anything else coming up before?
Tonight.
So
Tonight,
Tonight,
yeah.
that's right.
Tonight on
Shay and I on Twitch.
that's right.
Unless Joe or you want to stick around, we'll have some more.
Oh no, I got a kid, I got to feed her, blah blah. But
All right, Joe's
Joe
gonna
will
join
be
us, so maybe we'll play some more WWE 2K20,
I will watch. I will watch. I will watch.
Royal Rumble.
I will watch.
We've got 3 controllers now, so we can all get on the fun.
Ooh, damn it! I wish. I'll watch.
Tune
I'll
in for
watch.
Twitch, tune in for Quest for Player 2 on Thursdays, Ranger show on Saturday, and Retro next week with a Q&A session with the voice of Elgar.
So until then, remember, we are everywhere and nowhere at all. We're always watching. We are the Illuminati.
All right, see you later, guys.
In the words of Guy Fieri, adios!
Fieri.